welcome to the Fashion Network and Fashionology today. We are super excited to have you guys, and we're going to talk a lot about menswear today and trends and shifts in trends, and we're going to see what our guest, Amy Ashworth, has to say. You're watching Fashionology today on January 31st, 2023. So let's talk right now and bring in our guest. Hi, Amy, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing fine. Well, I will tell you, our local area got hit with an ice storm. So I'm
Oh,
actually not in my shop today. I had to pivot at the last minute, and I'm in a different room that we used to work in before we moved out into
to
Hardin.
your new place.
Yeah, so
Well,
it was
I think one of the best parts about being a creative individual is being able to shift at the last moment. And I wouldn't have even known that. So thank you for sharing. And I'm glad you guys are all safe.
we are safe. Yes,
Good.
that's the
That's
main
the
thing.
most important part. And as I was telling our audience, today's show is Ashworth Co., which is with you, Amy Ashworth. You guys are in Kentucky. You were just talking about this ice storm. One of the things I thought was very, very profound, believe it or not, was on your show sheet you sent. You mentioned that if you were an animal, you'd be a dog because everyone loves dogs. And I think that's probably very true that it looks like everyone probably loves Ashworth, especially in your town.
We get a lot of positive comments from the people who come in. Um, a lot of people have said, we need you here. We don't have anybody else who does this service. So I do love being able to do custom clothing and alterations in our town, because it's a needed service. And I think a lot of people have acknowledged that sewing and design and even alterations is
Yeah,
a dying art. It's being lost to
right. Absolutely.
so many other more modern things, and it still is very important to be able to have that skill.
Oh, I agree. And, primarily a lot of companies are shifting, like you're saying, to, computer production overseas. But one thing you and I have in common is my brand as well, the Anne Marie brand is small batch production we have a factory in town. You guys are doing small batch production and many other things. Before we jump into that, let's tell our audience a little bit about you guys, that you're a store, but also much more than that. You do small batch production. You do all the technical aspects of creating garments, and small batch brands and pattern making, which is amazing, because I only do pattern making by hand as well. And I save every one of my muslins. Have you saved a lot?
I have, and it did get to a point where I had to start
It is.
with them. It's hard because that's your brain, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
it's very hard to get rid of the
I
muslins.
can't do it. I can't. I just keep getting bigger and bigger boxes, like sample, boxes from moving companies, and we hang them. And you
Oh,
know,
it's
it's
your
I was really,
mental process, right? It's your
yeah.
brain, it's your learning process. You look back and say, oh, I remember that. I remember when I did this way or this that way. Yes, very, very hard. I agree. Very hard to get rid of a muslin.
It is. It's really hard to get rid of it because it's almost like having a disc, right? It's my computer's hardware, but it's inside my brain. So, and it's fun. Sometimes I go back and, I might take a box T-shirt and cut the sleeves off, so refigure the pattern just a little bit, and we have a tank top. So all of that are, various ways of, um, continuing to live a life of, by hand and creativity rather than sending it overseas, and so on and so forth. So, you're known in your town to be the menswear, formal wear, and really family wear location.
Yes. Yes, we
Tell us
are.
a little bit about how this came to be. I know you mentioned that, about in what, 2011 or so, you just kind of knew this is what you needed to do.
Yes, in 2011, I'd had a lot of experience already in garment construction and sewing. It was my hobby. It was something I really enjoyed doing. I hadn't started in pattern making at that point. I was using
Wow.
patterns. I did maybe some designing to some extent, but I didn't really know a lot about pattern making. I hadn't studied it yet at that point. But
Sure.
what I learned very quickly was that if I wanted to sell clothing, I needed to be making those patterns. Was not going to be able to use somebody else's pattern that wasn't, number one, it's not right. And you need to have your own brand. You need to have your
Right.
own
Your own
style.
version.
Yes. So that's when I really got on that journey of studying and learning and, experiencing that craft of pattern making.
Hmm.
And I bought a pile of textbooks. I went through all the, and I took several classes too to learn how to be a pattern maker. And that it just really kind of took off.
Incredible.
Not long after that, and I'd say about a year later, 2 years later, it became pretty clear that if I didn't learn digital pattern making,
Right.
I was not going to be where everything was happening. I wasn't going to be able to sell my patterns. I wasn't going to.
It's
So
very true.
and so being kind of, I'm older, it's pretty obvious. So
That's right. So am I.
so I thought, well, I'm not that experienced with computers. I'll get stepping stone software that teach me a little bit about it at first, how to draw a line, how
Excellent.
to do a curve. So that's what
It's really great to hear this from you because, we have a lot of viewers that actually they're texting in right now in our private chat, which, by the way, I need to remind everyone real quick that if you become a member of the Fashion Network, then you're able to text in through the private chat and ask questions. And it's our way at this moment with our technology that we've built to be able to talk with you directly at this moment through me. But a lot of the guests are saying that, Amy, that in essence, they couldn't afford to go to regular school. They couldn't go to a technical college. And so hearing from you, learning that they can almost self-teach themselves is very encouraging. And I couldn't agree more. I think that, if you have a passion for fashion and have the wherewithal, you have the duality as well that I have the fashionpreneur aspect and the designing. I think you can take it, tremendous distance, which is what you guys have. So tell us real quick about your new store location. You guys have a bigger space in Kentucky.
Yes, I'm actually in my old tailor shop, and it's 12 by 12, very small. I mean, it has enough room for my cutting table, which is 6 foot.
Yeah, mine are pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, we actually had 10 machines in this room.
Oh,
So now we've
wow.
got, I think we have same 10 machines and a couple of
Room to move.
12. Yeah. In the new shop, we have a machine bay down. So what it looks like is, we had, and we went to all industrial except for one machine, and then an embroiderer, which we only use for monogramming. That
Got it. Yeah.
what
But it
we
shows the
do.
variety that you're able to offer many different things to, to your guests, your customers.
Yeah, sometimes alterations need to be done on a non-industrial machine for certain reasons, but it
Awesome.
kind of depends on what it is. Um,
And
we
so
have
can people, Amy, sorry to interrupt you. We've got 30 minutes, so I'm moving you through a few things here. I'm going to put up your email, Amy at acashworthco.com. for just a minute there so people can certainly send you an email. And we're going to talk to you again in just a couple of minutes. But I am being told that it's time for us to go to a commercial break. So we'll be right back in just a minute after Liberty Mutual.
So then I said to him, you ought to customize your car insurance with Liberty Mutual, so you only pay for what you need.
Oh, Doug, can we talk about something other than work? It's the weekend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Weekends. Weekends are a lot like insurance.
Yeah.
Yep. Hot dog or chicken? Hot dog.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Yes, of course. Speaking of the weekend, how was this past weekend? I think it was your second in your new location.
We've been in that Hardinsburg location since December 1st.
Oh,
So,
I'm sorry. You know what? Maybe you had a grand opening party recently. I know we
That's
posted
right.
about it.
That's right. A couple
Yes.
weekends ago, we had our grand opening. It's hard to plan an event like that when you're still moving all your things. You want to get your store in order. Our front of our store is more of a reception area. We have a changing room, and then the back is where we have our machine bay, cutting table, and some of our racks where we keep the things that we're
Right.
working on. So
That's great. And
Yeah.
obviously, anyone in your area, the Hardinsburg area can certainly come and obviously discuss with you and move forward on creating, a small brand or different types of custom work, alterations. I mean, you guys pretty much do it all there in this, primarily menswear, formal wear type of a store that has done so well. So I want to take a minute here. We're gonna pop something up here, and these are menswear trends for 2023. And I'd love to hear your take on it. And we're gonna have some audience, some viewers, let us know what they think. So there's top 6 trends that are going to define you in the menswear industry. What is really interesting is that menswear only takes up about 5.4 billion annually, where women's is double, which is just it really makes sense. And if you really think about it a minute, it goes all the way from formal wear to toddlers, little babies. I have 2 girls and 2 boys, and the boys, my gosh, I could barely find stuff, but it was tons of girl clothing. So I guess it's very true. So let's break these down. 6 trends. Okay, relax about it. They're talking about just being relaxed in your menswear choice, that essentially wearing pretty much anything and everything frankly goes, because as the smaller writing on the screen says, menswear industry for 2023 is actually one of the sectors of the industry that doesn't scream trends. It pretty much stays on par, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very classic.
It's classic. And also I think it's great for you as far as the boutique aspect of menswear, that it's not a 52-week cycle like some stores used to be.
Things are going out of style. So
Right,
fast.
exactly. I love to see the next 2. Retro is reigning again, and what they're talking about are block colored shirts and different types of bright old school type of clothing. Have you seen that?
I have not seen that in my area.
And that's
a new
very
one.
possible. Actually, that's very true, with different areas of the country having a variety of different types of fashion, within them. We're filming today in Colorado. So saddle up, Western wear. That's true, but they're really just talking about how Levi's has actually made a huge comeback the last 5 years. You used to only be able to buy Levi's at thrift stores and the guys on the range riding horses, but now Levi's are everywhere. In fact, one of my favorite jeans and jackets, my denim jacket, is a Levi's. I mean, they're great.
Mhm.
The return of Supreme, and they're talking about formal wear, that there's a big shift from the next trend, which is relaxed sophistication. And they're talking about, you can go to like Lululemon and buy a slack that is, very hybrid, that it could be for working out and also just going to work. And being able to feel very confident in your clothing choices. And I think that's true wherever you are, right? The men's joggers coming around big time.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't associate that with menswear. That is really interesting.
It is,
I
right?
don't think of
Again,
when they're relaxed, it seems like they're in their Levi's. I mean, Levi's.
that's true.
And it's universal. I'm seeing that.
I didn't say these were all accurate across the country, but overall, this is what several Stylecaster and Fashion Index is talking about. And the
Okay.
last trend is the hybrid footwear is a must. I think this is absolutely true. I know from my older boys, in college, they are wearing basically they look like a sneaker on the bottom, but a formal shoe on top. So they're
I
just
have seen
comfortable.
I have seen that. I
Yeah,
saw it at a funeral. I was so shocked.
exactly.
It was like it's not a tennis shoe, but whoa, it's got a big thick. It was so
Right.
I've never seen it before. Hey, I did see that.
And yeah, I happened to see it the other day actually on I don't normally actually watch Meet the Press, believe it or not, but I have insomnia actually. So bona fide insomnia where I can be up for 2 to 3 hours in the middle of the night. And it was just playing at like 2:30 in the morning on Saturday night. And anyway, it was their guest had this great suit on. He was a handsome man, and his shoes were a brown hybrid of formal dress shoe and sneaker. So it's definitely becoming more popular. So I think hitting your area soon is probably really where it's going to be.
Right.
But this is just a fun, informational, tidbit about the menswear. What are you seeing in your area?
I am definitely seeing a lot of Levi's. I mean, we are in a rural area, so that's gonna happen. That's, we do
Absolutely.
hem up a lot of jeans. People I see, with among the women, I see a lot of Judy blue. That's the
Ah,
big the big thing. And these women love those jeans, love them. They must be, I mean, I know this is gonna really sound funny. I'm gonna say it anyway. When I was younger, and I'm 51 years old, so I kind of
looking
grew up
good.
in the 80s. Do you remember in the 80s there was, or somebody might,
Yeah.
there was a blue jean company for women called Chick, and they were like the mom jeans.
Yes.
But
And some of them had embellishments on the tush.
they were so comfortable. The cut, what is it? Goes back to the pattern maker. The cut was great. That pattern maker knew what they were doing. They were
Yes.
comfortable. People didn't care. They were like,
Well,
these are comfortable jeans. Well,
yeah.
I kind of looked at this like, hey, I think the Judy blue is the Chick jeans from the 80s. This not the same thing, but it's got the same kind of attention that wow, these are comfortable, they're made right.
Yeah,
People are
absolutely.
tired of clothes that aren't made well. So getting designers, to think about what really feels good and looks good, and get a good pattern maker that knows what they're doing, has experience, and is able to really replicate those fits. That's
Yes.
really key here to transforming what we see on the shelf to things that people really, really love and really want to wear and stand the
Yes.
test of time, like Levi's.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. And when they stand the test of time, obviously then it's a great, investment piece.
Yeah.
Amy, we've got about 10 more minutes. We're just flying through today's show, actually. And so we do need to air one more commercial. But what is really exciting is afterwards, I'd love to talk to you about the formal wear and just the entire aspect of that within your company. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. And here's a message from FedEx.
There's a couple There's a couple things, I'd like to say to you. After all the crazy things that we've been through, I needed you in the dead of night, the wake of the day, first broken light, and blind I'd follow you. I never realized how much I needed you.
Comfort. What we deliver by delivering.
Absolutely. FedEx is a great company that allows all of us to even ship our products. We're talking to Amy Ashworth with Ashworth Co. And you can reach her at amy@acashworthco.com. Of course, on Twitter, Facebook. I mean, you're all over the place, of course, which is great, right? That's another, example of today's technology, that we can't just be, by mouth. We're certainly not really paying for advertisement in paper products, magazines and the like. But you're all over Instagram, AC Ashworth Co., Facebook the same, and of course your website is acashworthco.com, which is great, obviously, to keep everything very consistent. So Amy, talk us through a little bit about your formal wear and how that kind of transcends within the shop itself.
Okay. What we our focus of our shop and in our local brand is formal wear. We are probably the only formal wear shop in that area, or in the, in that general area, that there may be other shops, but not.
You're definitely a destination.
Yeah, we will make the formal wear ourselves. So you have a vision, you have a drawing, you have an idea, no matter where it comes from. What is unique about our brand is that we can make the pattern. We can hybrid 2 or 3 different ideas into a dress or into a suit, and custom make that for that individual. We will take measurements, we will make it just for that person, and that is kind of the forefront of what we do in our shop. It takes time. It's not like a last minute thing, but no matter what it is, whether it's more on the really fancy end or more careful end, whatever it is, that our customers will come away when they have bespoken clothes, will be coming away with something that is uniquely theirs.
Absolutely. And it sounds like, you're perfectly situated to be able to offer this, like you said, kind of throughout, most of the Kentucky area, which is great. Can people like myself or anyone that's watching, they're asking, can they send an email to you and have, a discussion, and even can they send measurements to you and have stuff made that way?
Yes. The answer is yes. We have actually made custom clothing throughout almost every state in the United States and 7 countries worldwide.
It's great.
I may have questions depending on what you have made. I may have more questions about different measurements that you need to take, or something to be rechecked, but that is absolutely possible. And talking about muslins, we do send muslins before we cut into any good fabric. We send that. I look at pictures. I kind of see how that's fitting and what we may need to improve in the pattern. So yeah, it's absolutely possible.
That's great. Maybe through some virtual fittings and whatnot.
Can do that too. Yeah.
Great. Perfect. We've only got a few minutes left, so I really wanted to get your information up again. So thank you, Mark, executive producer, throwing some stuff up. Thank you very much. And yes, as always, you can join the FNTV community at the Fashion Network us.com. Also, just as simple as thefntv.com. So we're trying to make it a little easier for you guys. Believe it or not, we also have something exciting starting in February, which is just around the corner. So I'm going to throw something up here on the screen one more time to show you guys what's coming up next week And we'll be right back with Amy Ashworth. I just wanted to let everyone know that we've got some exciting stuff coming up. In fact, we have the designer debut feature is going to be online as well as on the show next week. Excuse me. So Sky Barker May is our first designer that is going to be featured next week. We're going to do monthly designer features. So if you are a designer, you can certainly write in, submit yourself. You can submit others, but certainly do so and let us know who you think should be a part of the designer debut TV show once a month, as well as online on the Fntv network. Advertise on the Fashion Network is always an option. We'd love to have you guys do that. Anyone and everything is really available. And as I said, today's show has been brought to you by Liberty Mutual and FedEx, keeping both you and your packages safe. And let's throw it back to Amy Ashworth for just a couple more minutes before we close the show down for today. Amy, you've been so easy to talk to that really the show has gone by so fast. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. I think that letting the world know that Ashworth Co. exists is very exciting, and possibly just you're going to grab some new people, that new clients that are going to want some items designed. You might have to produce a new software so you can do some big virtual fittings across the country.
That would be interesting. I'm a little bit slower on getting the software, learning the new technologies. I know there's suit software where you can take pictures of people and it gives you the measurements. Those are in their infancy. I think there's still you need a human aspect.
Yeah.
But they are quite good considering what they can do.
Right. But, also I think, for me anyway, I can certainly just have your measurements and at least create a muslin to start with. Right. And I think that, being able to do that is going to open up, anyone's ability to be able to custom design outside of their, driving area.
Sure. Sure.
I think so. So, Amy, we just want to let everyone know again that we're really appreciative of you being on today's show. You have watched Fashionology today on January 31st, 2023. We've been talking to Amy Ashworth. One more time, there she is, Amy at ashworthco.com. And like I said, guys, please become an FNTV member. By doing so, multiple things happen. You're automatically admitted into our giveaways, and you're able to be a part of TV shows and talk to our guests. Also, I almost forgot, so I'm sorry, this doesn't look so good. We're fixing it here real quick. But basically, in the last couple seconds here, Fashion TV is giving away Kate Spade items, 2 heart wallets, 2 heart wristlets, and 2 PJ sets with an eye mask on Valentine's Day. So make sure you guys join us in the next couple weeks for that Valentine's Day special. In the meantime, Amy, thank you so much for being a part of our show. And we really look forward to great things to come. I hope you do come back in the near future and let us know how things are going.
Thanks for having me, and appreciate it.
Absolutely. Everyone, thank you so much for being a part of our show today. This was the Fashion Network, FNTV, and our live show, Fashionology, today on January 31st, 2023. Please go to our website for more information, thefntv.com. And I'm Annie Rigsby for Fashionology Today. Make it a great day and live life to the fullest, one outfit at a time.